It will be a revolution in getting people back to work. That was the bold claim from the government as it launched its payment by results work programme 2 years ago. After a pretty appalling start, it is improving. Figures released today show that out of the million people referred to the programme, 130,000 have found sustainable jobs. But they also reveal that the majority of companies contracted to the work programme have failed to meet the bare minimum performance level expected by the government. So I went to find out how well the work programme really is working. Wendy Farron feels life is finally back on track for her and her girls. A single mother, she spent 3 years out of work and found the reality of being unemployed depressing, crying every time she visited the job centre. She was eventually put on the work programme, the government's payment by results scheme. Private companies promise personalised, tailored support to those looking for work. Her early optimism soon faded.
Just more of the same, really, and a mess, really, you know, depressing, demotivated people worried about their own jobs. You know, an office sort of up and running before they were ready. Just, you know, just nothing slick about it.
Wendy was on the work programme for a year when, having paid to retrain as a child counsellor herself, she finally found work.
I did find work myself, and I wonder if anyone will actually benefit from me having found myself work. You know, whether I'll go down as one of their success stories.
You're back in contributing.
It was all about counting the success stories today for the Employment Minister, Mark Hoban. He visited this co-op store in Southwark in South East London to meet some of the employees who'd got their job through the work programme. James was on it just 2.5 weeks.
It really helped me with my interview techniques, to be honest. If I didn't do that there, then I know I would get stuck in the interview.
The government say James is evidence of the growing success of the work programme, but there are clearly stark variations in the figures. Work programme contractors are paid an outcome fee only when a person finds a job lasting 6 months. And the government set minimum performance levels for those contractors. So government expected 27% of all over 25s on job seekers allowance to be in sustained employment by this point. Of the 40 contractors, more than half failed to meet that minimum. For those dealing with people on employment support allowance, people with health problems or other challenges, 16.5% was the minimum expected to have been found sustainable work. Not one of the companies met that minimum.
It's a good result. It's a significant improvement on where we're at last year.
But is it a good result?
It's a significant improvement on where we were last year.
But we're looking at 40 providers, say, take the biggest group, JSA, over 25. Of 40 providers, 21, as far as I can see, have failed to reach the minimum performance level.
Yeah, but let's not forget, when we did this last year, none of the providers met that target. We're making big progress. There's more progress to be done.
So they're failing, but not as badly this time.
What I've been very clear about, and I said last year, is I'd grip this programme and drive it forward. Today's results demonstrate that we have made progress. There is more to be done.
The Minister says companies continuing to underperform risk having their contracts taken away. But while some face being pushed, others are jumping ship of their own accord. The Volunteer Centre in Kensington and Chelsea is the latest in a line of voluntary organisations which have walked away from the work programme.
The risk is pushed down the supply chain, and commercial organisations behave like that. That's the role of a subcontractor, is to spread your risk. So our attachment fees were ranged, according to the needs of the client, between about £130 and £250. And so consequently, you need a high throughput of referrals, which we had, to be able to even begin to manage that risk. But it still isn't enough. It isn't enough.
Even if it can't claim credit for Wendy getting back into work, the government insists the work programme is moving in the right direction. From now on, that should be easier to monitor. It'll release figures every 3 months.